Hello, everybody. This is Brenda, and today I'm with.
Arlette.
Carmen.
And Giselle.
Today, we're going to be discussing how socioeconomic status and academic performance are correlated. We'll also be discussing how the well being of students is affected by their socioeconomic status. Socioeconomic status is the social standing or class of an individual or group. It is usually measured by looking at the combination of education and income. When socioeconomic status is examined, there are obvious differences in resources and opportunities between classes. With this being said, we are able to see that higher economic children have more resources and opportunities to learn compared to lower economic students. According to the article, The Global Increase in the Socioeconomic Achievement Gap, the achievement gap, which means the disparity in academic performance between groups of students, is getting wider as years pass by. This gap is due to the rise of inequality of income in different groups of people and what that income is used for. One reason for the achievement gap is that higher socioeconomic status students have access to better schools, most of which are private or charter schools with more resources, but lower socioeconomic status students have to attend public schools with little funding. Also, high socioeconomic status parents are able to pay for summer camps for their children or trips to museums and other educational facilities, while low socioeconomic status parents have to work extra hours in order to make ends meet and aren't able to pay for a babysitter, which leads to the children staying home alone and taking care of themselves and sometimes their siblings.
In addition, socioeconomic status affects the involvement and knowledge of parents towards their child education. According to an article, How Socioeconomic Status, Executive Functioning, and Verbal Interactions Contribute to an Early Academic Achievement in Chinese Children, socioeconomic status is directly linked to students' academic performance, not because of how much money students have, but because of how involved parents can be in their life. Parent involvement depends on the amount of time and priorities that parents have. For example, parents on lower socioeconomic status have to worry more often about how they will be providing food and shelter for their children, while parents on the higher end do not have to worry as much about this and have time to worry about how their children are doing academically. Many studies have proven that children who are read to at home in early ages are more prepared for school and can learn and adapt at a faster pace than those children who are not read to at home. One of the many reasons why children might not be read to at home is because parents do not have the time or resources. For example, parents who are in the higher socioeconomic spectrum can afford to enroll their students in classes for additional support, or can pay a tutor to work one-on-one with the students, while lower socioeconomic parents might not be able to do so. Although lower socioeconomic parents might intend to help their children, they may not know how to do so, as most of them did not complete very high education and therefore do not have the adequate knowledge. Another factor that may contribute to parents on the lower socioeconomic status not having the resources to help their child may be, for example, a student that has to stay for tutorial but who also rides a bus that leaves straight after school. In this case, the lower socioeconomic parents might not have the time or resources to go pick up the student, while a higher socioeconomic parent might be able to do so.
To follow along with what Arlette said, I'm going to be stating how the socioeconomic status of parents affects the education of their children. According to the article, prevalence of bullying and victimization among children in early elementary schools, do family and school neighborhood socioeconomic statuses matter? Children and families with a low socioeconomic background have an increased risk of bullying and victimization. Towards the end of the article, they concluded that the only indicator of SES-related victimization was the educational level of the parents. It was clear that children of low SES families were the main ones linked to being a bully or a bully victim. As I read the article, it stated that how these children were either bullies or bully victims because their parents have a low educational level, that the parents' education reflects their intellectual resources, their general knowledge, their values, and problem-solving skills, which are all skills that develop children's social and coping skills. Children of low SES are also prone to watching more television, where they are exposed to violence that stimulate bullying and peer aggression. Research has found that schools should help students by teaching them these skill sets they might not receive from their parents to lessen the bullying. As previously stated, students tend to become bullies or bully victims when they come from low SES families, where boys tend to have the most notable bullying. But girls also have bullying that passes under the teacher's noses, which is why it's worthwhile to teach children with low socioeconomic backgrounds certain social and coping skills to solve peer problems and bullying.
It is quite evident that socioeconomic status has a direct effect on a child physically due to the lack of resources. But it is also important to take in mind how the child is being affected psychologically. How are they feeling? What are they thinking? And how is this affecting their actions? According to the article, family socioeconomic status and parent-child relationships are associated with the social creativity of elementary school children, the mediating role of personality traits. Children are deeply affected psychologically by their socioeconomic status. As stated before by Arlette, many times parents don't have the time to spend with their children because they are part of the working class and are always busy. The lack of parent involvement can make the child feel discouraged or neglected. Students can easily lose interest in school because they don't have the appropriate support system at home. Although these may not be the parents' intentions, they are affecting their child psychologically because they aren't providing their child with assistance during their evolving. This can lead to many negative outcomes. It has also been proven that family socioeconomic status has a direct impact on a child's creativity. A child who is given all the resources needed does not need to be creative in any occasion. However, a child who lacks resources has to come up with an alternative way for anything. This helps build their creativity skills. According to the article, the more creative the child is, the better interpersonal skills they have. If there is an adequate family environment in a low socioeconomic home, the child's social creativity can be improved, improving their interpersonal skills along the way as well. A child's interpersonal relationships has a strong correlation with how they are feeling and how they are acting on a daily basis. This may affect how the child is doing academically or how their behavior is in school as well. Interpersonal relationships impact their self-esteem and help shape their identity. This is why it is so relevant for their psychological well-being. In conclusion, we know that overall we can see that a child's socioeconomic status has a direct effect on them through parent involvement, their academic performance, behavior, and their psychological well-being. This reflects the importance of being open-minded in a classroom setting.